Hello StarCraft fans! This is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another weekly edition of Into the Void! This is a game between Prism and spotoss on Dusk Towers. In the bottom side of the map we have the red Terran player, it is Prism, representing SOKP. And on the top side of the map we have the blue Protoss player, it is spotoss. Alright, so this is our weekly examination of Bronze and Silver League gaming sent to me at falconpaladin@gmail.com with the subject of Into the Void. I send them to my screeners. Thank you so much for every single one of my screeners. Wait, thank you every one of my screeners for all the help that you lend to me. It would take me a long time to get through all those replays, but you guys make it easy. Alrighty then, so here we go. Gateway first here from spotoss. And we're going to see a Rax there from Prism. Absolutely nothing to worry about on this side of things from the Terran player. I do have my Terran list ready to go, but you know, this is early game. Probably won't have to use it for a couple of minutes, if at all. Hooah! So hope you're all having a pretty good week here, or had a good week. I guess this is Friday when this is going to post, because my week was pretty good, pretty interesting, did some work. In Utah, the 24th of July is called Pioneer Day, and it just celebrates the day the pioneers came to Utah and settled it and all that great stuff back in like 1847. So we're allowed to do fireworks in the state. We can't do it except for the month of July, I believe, just the 4th of July and the 24th, and that just means people go crazy all weekend setting off their fireworks. They've got big old aerials that explode that are super loud. Kept my kids up till all hours, but it was pretty fun to see. We can sit right on my porch and check out a lot of what's going on across the valley here in Utah. So anyway, it was a pretty good time. Meanwhile, Terran player has 2 idle SCVs, is not making anything out of his barracks. Oh, he heard me. He's making a Marine. Okay, so making a Marine there. APM is about 43 for the Protoss player. 200 on average for Prism. Prism is spamming fast in this early game, man. He has the potential. He has the potential to do this. Cybernetics core, and now again, the interesting thing is what happens after Cyber core. We'll have to wait and see on that one. Factory coming out and then going for the command center. So it's not a 1-Rax expand. He wants to get that factory started first, which is fine. Shouldn't really change much of anything. A little bit late on this orbital command as well. I believe you want to get that maybe closer to like 16 or 17 supply than 22. However, this is Into the Void. I'm not sure how much that will actually matter when it comes to winning or losing this game. Mothership core there for playing base defense with the photon overcharge. This SCV still scouting, man. Really great scouting SCV. He does scout the Nexus. This is like Reaper level scouting. Wahoo. And he's going to go ahead and he's going to scout the second gateway. He's going to scout the second gateway. And actually live as well. So that guy, man, that is a pretty darn brave SCV. Good scouting. Nicely done, Terran player. A lot of Marines coming out here. And I think this might just turn into a Marine drop. Factory into Starport is usually the next step in this. And it is going to be a Starport. So whenever you see a Terran player kind of stockpiling Marines like this, expect a drop of some kind coming fairly early. I mean, it could just be a straight push right up the middle, but for my experience, it seems more like it's going to be a drop, usually back here, especially on this map. SCV comes home having scouted and done his people proud. Marine count is up to 4. First Adept on the way. Is that the first? Oh, second Adept on the way for spotoss. I was like, is that the first attacking unit you've made? I guess the Mothership core counts, but not really. Not really. And a tank. Okay, so tank tells me likely just going to be a push right up the middle. So you have tank, you have medevac support, you have Marines. Yeah, maybe have some Marauders with these additional barracks that you're building, and then you just push right up the middle, try to crush your opponent, and then if that works, then Bob's your uncle. Both assimilators taken here, both refineries taken here. Gas, super important in the early game for both of these races. Neither player has taken it at their natural yet, though, which tells me they're not going to tech up super fast. I mean, this isn't a carrier build out of spotoss. This isn't a direct rush to battlecruiser for Prism. Which is too bad, because that'd be a lot of fun. Tech Lab is there for the upgrades for the biological units. Are you taking a third spotoss? I mean, you're kind of floating some minerals here, and this positioning tells me, why wouldn't you take it here, though? This is so much not safer. There's this high ground your opponent could put tanks on and crush your stuff with. I don't know. I mean, the probe just seems to be sitting there. There's a Twilight Council, probably for Blink, although Blink is hard to manage at this level of StarCraft 2. Robotics facility coming out as well, and tank on the high ground, Marines on the low ground. Is it time to go? Is it time to go, Prism? Tech Lab Reactor. So 2 Tech Labs, which means either double fast upgrades, which I don't know if that's necessary, or double Marauder production, which would be pretty good here. Also, a reactor on this starport would be fantastic for double pumping those medevacs. We'll see if he gets to that eventually. Prism may be thinking that's something that he wants to do. So here it is. We do have Stalkers. We do have a Sentry. We have a bunch of Adepts. And that robotics facility is going to finish. Usually it's an observer out of that first of all. Observer is just such good units. Although, we have seen just a straight immortal production as well from Protoss players. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Resonating Glaives is on the way from spotoss. Forge coming up for those upgrades. I like that. I like seeing an early Forge from a Protoss player. It means they know what they're talking about. And here, oh, a Tech Lab. Is he going Banshee here? Is he supply blocked? Supply blocks. Oh, Prism. Oh, Prism. Always, as Day9 says, probes, pylons. And what was the other thing he always said? I think that was it. Probes and pylons, probes and pylons. Supply depots and SCVs, supply depots and SCVs. Always be making them. Always be making them. Zerg's a little bit different. You can kind of hack out like 10 overlords at once if you need to. Not really the case for Protoss and Terran unless they want to pull off a lot of workers and lose that mining time. Barracks, third base, now on the way for Prism. Thinking about taking a third over here, maybe as Spotoss. This poor probe is like, why did you have me stare at this mineral patch for a minute and a half? I don't understand. I don't get it. And this, I mean, this is defensive build. This is Prism saying, I'm worried about the Protoss coming and killing me. I don't want to leave my base. Gonna put a tank on the high ground. Gonna put Marines up here as well. Get some Marauders, and if anybody tries to come up this ramp, they will die. But the thing is, Protoss is playing defensively too. Come on, you guys. Live a little. Get out there. Get at your opponent. Warp Prism coming up. Is that a... Oh, yes. Observer first, then a Warp Prism. Okay. I can get on board with that concept. +1 ground weapons being researched. Love that so much. Those are... Oh, there are double upgrades here, too. Yep. +1 and +1 for the armor and the attack for the biological units. There's Blink. Blink's coming out. So I don't know how effective spotoss is going to be with it, but he's definitely going to try to do some Blink. Meanwhile, mules landing everywhere. SCV coming on down. Check things out. See how things are going. I like the placement of these cannons. Again, this is a very popular place to drop. Having a cannon here dissuades medevacs from coming in. Having a cannon here gets rid of any widow mines that try to sneak into your mineral line. I like it. And one here too. I mean, at this level, pros really hate static defense. I don't know why it is. I guess they figure the 100 minerals could be spent elsewhere. But man, at this level, one cannon in your mineral line can make the difference between winning and losing. Phoenix heading on out. A Raven coming up too. There's that third Nexus finally starting. The probe has been given some purpose in its life. So happily. Phoenix does scout out that third base. Hallucinated Phoenix, mind you. No big friggin' deal. Trying to come over here. I mean, there's really no tech to see there, but either way, it's dead. But it does act... No, it's not dead. Gets a nice scout. Sees the Raven. Sees all the barracks. Sees the starport. Sees the starport with the tech lab. And again, did he use that to make a Banshee? Units tab. No, that was for the Raven. Alright, so is he worried about DTs? I just that's a really early Raven. I don't know. This looks like an adept warp in based on the fact there's nothing actually in that warp prism. Oversaturated here is spotoss, but he can transfer some of those workers up here in just a couple of minutes, so it's not the worst thing on planet Earth. No immortal production at all, spotoss. Mortals are good. Mortals are good in PvT. Alright, alright. I'll trust your judgment on this one. +1 ground armor. Now started. +1/+1 has finished already for the Terran player, so he's ahead on the upgrades, which is very nice indeed. Marine, Marauder, Marine, Marauder, Marine, Marauder, Mule. So many M things in the Terran army. There's that probe transfer. Still a little bit oversaturated, but that's okay. There are worse things in the world here. Army supplies are at 59 to 41. Protoss looking good. No, that's Terran. Terran looking good. I associate the color red with Protoss in my brain. I don't know why. Whoa, whoa, but Spotoss just warped in a ton of adepts back here, and they are attacking. They're going after this mineral line with a vengeance. They do have +1 attack. They do have resonating glaives. They attack like crazy. Gonna go ahead and try to take out this orbital command. Sneak on up here, and there's a giant army. Run. Run, adepts. Oh, they finished. They finished the transfer. You might have to manually focus down these SCVs if you're going to do anything else here, because you're going to die very quickly indeed. What are you doing, Marines and Marauders? There we go. Now they are attacking. 12 workers killed by the Protoss player, though. Whoa. Making it 31 to 50 total harvesters in favor of Spotoss. Not bad. Not too shabby, I would have to say. Meanwhile, Warp Prism is back after accomplishing its mission of completely decimating this mineral line. There is nobody here, man. Nobody here at all. It's time to go. Prism, 9 minutes in. It's time to move. Time to move it, move it. You're both on 3 bases. Yes, your worker count is terrible, Terran player, but thanks to mules, you're not that far behind, about 400 minerals. Although gas income is definitely higher for the Protoss player as what? Oh, these ones aren't actually harvesting. That's why. That is why an additional gas here is potentially available because these are assimilators, and yes, 2 on each instead of 3. Nope, there's 3. And we get a third spotoss? No? Alright, no. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Zealot legs, love that. Love charge. And +2 ground weapons at the same time. Taking a 4th base is Prism. Someone move. I'm gonna count to 3. And at the end of 3, I want you to move. No. Alright. That's fine. Not moving. Stalker Sentry Adept. Sneaking out. Here we go. spotoss is moving. Let's do this thing. Bringing an observer. Brilliant play. I'm just not sure this gateway army is going to be very good against this giant bio ball. You got to have Storm. You got to have Immortals. You got to have... Alright, Archons aren't bad. Whoa, a lot of Archons are not bad. And if you get charge on your Zealots, also not bad. I just don't actually see any Zealots currently on the map. I wonder if that was a misclick of some kind. Either way, spotoss gets his Archons. Okay, I feel much better about this army. Some tier 3 units are basically required to deal with this much stuff. Army supply is currently 88 to 90. Dead even, man. 56 to 40 on the worker count, though, which means that Prism... No, it doesn't mean that. Never mind. Forget what I was going to say. So Archons with +1 attack and +1 armor, which doesn't help them very much, but still. 39 damage, splash damage versus biological. Send the observers up. Send the observers in. I know there's a Raven, so be very careful about just letting that thing die. Do you not know about this base? Doesn't know about that base, unfortunately. If it knew about that base, might just be able to go and kill it. Actually, oh, there's the Zealot Warpin. Okay. So, accidentally scouting this base. Kind of getting pushed on over. Oh, there is a base here. Let's destroy it real quick. Boop. SCV dies in a hot second. And is he going to come save it? Is he going to save it? Stalkers and Archons going to burn this thing down? No, Prism is not going to save it. Is going to lose the command center. Bam, nice pickup there by spotoss. And then maybe just decides to back out a little bit. Gets his own 4th base. Happily does manage to warp in. Secret gold base, though. Secret gold base from Prism. And here it is. Archons in the front doing terrible, terrible splash damage. The rest of the army's not engaging, though. Guardian Shield is now up on the right-hand side, bottom-hand side of this army. spotoss is pushing the Terran up and then backs up just a little bit. Feeling okay about it. Another big warp-in of Adepts. Raven maybe throwing out a point defense drone. Oh, Hunter Seeker. And it's actually going to get that Archon. Look at that. Boom. Archon gone. Another one. The target of a Hunter Seeker does get taken down to basically 0 health, but it doesn't really matter. Protoss army looking very good right here. The Archons are gone, though, which is a big problem. Tanks on the top, just shelling, doing damage, not getting credit for any kills whatsoever. spotoss decides to back on out with his Zealots. Were the Zealots in the front? I don't know if the Zealots were in front. Positioning is pretty darn important, you guys. Storm being researched. Double Reaper. What the heck, Double Reaper at the 12-minute mark? What is this? I don't know. You tell me. Another attack here. Guardian Shield. I think that was a Zealot that got killed. Get your Zealots. Oh, did get the Zealots in the front. Well, no, didn't actually. Here they are. Zealots in the front, everybody. Zealots to the front. Another warp in here of Adepts. Really going for this heavy, heavy Adept play, which is fine by me. Ground armor, level 2 coming up to compensate for the, or to go with, the attack level 2. +2/+2 also coming up for the Terran player. Really just sticking on this bio. Yeah, there are some tanks, but they're not really engaged anywhere past this. So the Protoss player can draw the Terran player out. He'll be okay. He'll be okay. We'll see what Prism can do here. Meanwhile, like I said, 4th base up and running. This base does get scouted by an observer eventually. There's nothing happening here, which I'm a little surprised by. Terran player decides to move on out here, gets a nice concave. Rest of the army not engaged. Come on, spotoss! Get in there. Let your Zealots get in there. Why are your Zealots not attacking anything? They are. The Zealots are getting in there. A lot of Marines dying. Can hear that Marine death sound very clearly. Any Storm available on these guys? No, they don't have enough energy for it. Get out of there. Man, Stalker alone doing better than they should. And backing out. Oh, he just Archons him. Alright, he's not going to wait for Storm. He did research Storm. He did. They have it. Doing a pretty good job transferring off some idle workers here down to this 4th base. Excellent, excellent decision making. One single SCV here for Prism. Pro tip, use your SCVs to mine minerals. That would be my professional tip of the day. And army supply, 56 to 54. Once again, super darn even. Just Prism has that defender's advantage. His warpins, or his resupplies and his reinforcements don't have to go as far. Although I guess this Warp Prism is doing a pretty good job with it as well. I don't know. Hey, I was watching a video of an old battle report. Is that what they were called? Back from like the alpha of StarCraft 2, and a Protoss player warped in like 4 Immortals. It was scary, man. Used a Warp Prism to warp him in. It was insane. They got rid of that pretty darn early. Tanks now setting up, slowly creeping forward, extending their defensive perimeter. Spotoss backs out. He does have the storms, kind of. Come on, Sonic Storm. Let's get there. Is Prism going to give him enough time for that storm to get up? Don't know. Don't know. Tanks firing as well. Archon's right on top of everything. And is it going to be enough? I don't think it is. This Protoss player going for it, but losing his Archon. Stalkers really want to kill that tank, and they do get the tank, which is excellent. But everybody else going to get surrounded here and absolutely murdered. That +2/+2 has finished. Is there any storm? Yes! The last second, the storms come in, trying to kill all the bio with storm. I don't know if it's enough. You guys, storm. You have a storm. Spotoss, no. No, don't just... No! Where was your attention? I guess it was making adepts. All right. Oh, he just lost so much stuff there. Resources lost 15,000 to 10,000. Protoss having lost a lot more. Not too surprised about that one. That's for sure. Adepts very upset about things. +2/+2 decide to actually retreat. Another warp in here of Adepts just trying to go mass Adept against this Bile army. Not as good as it used to be. I'm afraid to be the bearer of bad news here, but the Adepts holding on fairly well. If these guys came in and actually assisted, this might work out for Protoss. Auto turrets coming in. They only last 8 seconds, but they do 21 damage. They hit like trucks. Still nothing going on here. Prism, man, I believe in you. APM 500 for Prism. Holy crap. All right, 500 for Prism. Prism says, I know there are reinforcements coming from somewhere. Where the heck? Ah, up here. All right, Adepts, if you had actually helped out with that previous battle, I think you could have done this, but as it stands, no. Oh, and the late warping of Zealots. Maybe. There's not a lot here, and they're pretty low on energy, or low on health. Zealots come in piecemeal, trying to charge. Stutter stepping away pretty well, though, is Prism. He knows what he's doing with this stutter step. He's done some practice. Like I said, bronze and silver, not your parents' bronze and silver. These guys have the basic mechanics down, basic production strategies down, stuff like kiting down, micro strategies. All right. So what's left for Spotoss? It doesn't look good. I'm going to tell you that. A Warp Prism, a Mothership Core, and an Observer. All right. I mean, he's getting +3 ground armor, which is nice, but that's about it. Come on, man. Make things. Make units. You have money. What is that money getting spent on? I don't see anything in the production tab. Okay, a ton of cannons. I don't know if that's going to work against these +2/+2 Marines and Marauders, especially. Warp Prism heading out for a scouting opportunity. I don't know why. Remember what I said about taking the space and the high ground stuff? I don't know. Prism is not worried about cannons. No siree, Bob. The Raven died. That's a good thing for Spotoss, but Prism up 133 to 78 total supply. And this base is gone. There's just nothing here. Yeah, warping into Adepts. Spotoss trying to win this thing with straight Adept. The more upgrades we have on the bio, though, the more impossible that gets. Stutter stepping maybe a little bit too much here. Just kill it. Just kill the Nexus. And he does. Assimilator there too. Pylon explodes. And here we go. Moving up the ramp. Alright, so cannons trying to save this thing. There are a few Adepts here. It's just not looking good at all. Prism, this might be the death blow. Might be the death blow. There are some Zealots working on that gold base, but I don't know how much that actually really matters at all, just because the army is so much bigger. 84 to 13 for the Terran player. Just don't overstim is what I'd recommend here. Allow your medevacs to actually heal up. They are very low on energy. A lot of dead probes here. Get out of there, probes. Get out of there, probes. Just a little bit undecided on the micro right now. Is Prism not quite sure what he wants to do. Some Adepts on the high ground trying to prevent this tragedy. No. Nope, that's not going to work at all. Big old wall of pylons dying. Is that enough to supply block the Protoss? No. Nope. There's 200 available supplies still. 200 available supply. And only 40 being used by the Protoss player. So at this point, +3 ground armor is going to finish. Yeah, I'm going to say this game is basically a great example of why you need to keep making units even when you're attacking. Because Spotoss did fairly well in this battle down here, but just didn't make another army to replace the one that was lost. Spotoss says, did you have a hidden base? Nope, not other than this one. I guess I just got stuck on Adepts. That's the other thing, is just got stuck on Adepts. You can't do straight Adept against Marine Marauder. Have to see the replay, says Spotoss. Well, congratulations, Spotoss. This will be cast, or is being cast by Falcon Paladin. So, hey, I mean, didn't really say GG, but there was some nice discussion and a little smiley face there. So I feel pretty good about Spotoss's mood there. But in the end, Prism is victorious, winning the game for Terran today. So well done to Prism. Just nice micro. I mean, not the best we've ever seen, but again, this is Into the Void. Some pretty good expanding decisions. Lost this space entirely. I feel like he could have saved it if he'd moved in with his Marines and Marauders, but that's okay. That's A-okay. Got stormed in the face a bunch of times, did manage to survive, and then when he won a decisive battle down on his side, he pushed. Those are your basic things you need to know in StarCraft 2. So that's it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin with yet another weekly edition of Into the Void. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit the subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter and Facebook, both at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.
Ashamed by what you have done. There is no redemption, and so you must run. And it's taken your heart and broken your soul. You cannot go back until you're made whole. And you're running into the void. Go searching into the void to find a place you can live, a place you can love. Is it just an illusion? When push comes to shove, there's a light upon you, and you follow it on. Looking for a reason and a way to atone. And stars, you're lost in a maelstrom of a great new unknown. And you're running into the void. Searching into the void to find a place you can live, a place you can love. Is it just an illusion? When push comes to shove, into the void. You go searching into the void. And you're running into the void.